Welcome back to the Arrowhead Pond. In our coverage of the World Gymnastics Championships, we move on to the women's team final. There are the final 8, China, Romania, and the United States, the top 3. The surprise there is Brazil in the 8th spot. They were behind Canada at the recent Pan American Games. Danielle Hipólito, the strength of the Brazilian side. But we go to the Americans first, and this is the Pan American Games all-around champion, Chelsea Memel.
And a last-minute stand-in for the Americans. Yurchenko, 1.5, very clean, nice distance from that vault. The Americans have been hit hard with sickness and injuries, losing Ashley Postel after she was sick. Anya Hatch, who is their toughest and strongest vaulter. And then Courtney Kupitz just recently to an Achilles tendon tear. Chelsea's just been phenomenal throughout the preliminaries. And now putting up a strong vault for the Americans. 9.7 start value and very nice position in the air and a good landing.
Americans have never won team gold in the women's competition at the World Championships. 9.275 for Chelsea Memel, hails from just outside Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Here is the veteran of the team, Tasha Schweikert, the 18-year-old.
And she knows exactly how Chelsea feels at the Sydney Olympics. She was a last-minute stand-in. And now, you said it, she's a leader on this team and a powerful vaulter. Same vault, Yurchenko, 1.5, and a perfect landing.
This crowd will erupt anytime an American does something.
And this is the event. The Americans thought they'd have a weakness. Their start values are lower than the Russians and the Romanians. But if they can go 3 for 3, clean vault, they're going to be in a good starting position.
9.325, the score for Tasha Schweikert of the United States. They're following the Olympic order, vault first, then on evens, then beam, then floor exercise in their quest for this gold medal. Now the young star for the Australian side. This is Russo, floor exercise.
And Scott, we have to mention here that the rules are different in the finals. 3 compete and 3 scores count. There's no longer the safety net of that throwaway score. It is a pressure cooker out here, especially for young athletes like Russo.
Monet Russo, the youngster on the team. You'll see Alana Slater, who's the veteran. There was a disappointment for Australia at the Olympic Games in Sydney. They thought they could be top 3, at least make the team final. They wound up 7th, right out of the medals.
National head coach Peggy Liddick is very high on this athlete. And that's strong praise coming from someone who coached the most decorated American athlete, Shannon Miller. She's done a great job in preparing this team. The Australians have a nice mixture of new young talent and some veterans on the team like Alana Slater. Beautiful job there on the 2.5 twist. Her difficulty's high. We're seeing some big tumbling from her, but you can still tell that she is a young, inexperienced gymnast. We're not seeing the presentation throughout the routine that we're going to see more of from the Alana Slaters.
Monet Russo of Australia. Their first event, the floor exercise.
That routine will score well. There's Peggy Liddick, very happy with her new young talent. Landings were clean, difficulty was high. There's the tucked full in, second pass. Solid landing. Cute dance, but this is where she could really show off a little bit more facial expression. It's definitely something that the judges are looking for. They want to see the full package. Tumbling and performance. There's her whips through the 2.5, another clean landing.
9.187 for Monet Russo of Australia. They're going backwards and will finish with the balance beam. Here is Alana Slater. So much hope for her. She's delivered so much throughout the years for the Australians.
Alana has been so intense throughout this entire competition. In training, in the preliminaries, she is focused. She wants success for the Australians real bad. Opening with a whip triple twist, holds it in bounds.
She figured to be a shoe-in for the all-around title at last year's Commonwealth Games in Manchester, but she was out-dueled by Canada's Kate Richardson, who now trains for UCLA here in Los Angeles.
That's where Alana will really show it off here. See that extra effort, the expression, the passion in the dance. Important dance combination there. Tuck double. That's a D-level skill. It gains her a 10th of bonus. With the current code of points, they have to get 1.2 in bonus. Scott, that means a whole lot of dance combinations and tumbling. So you don't get a whole lot of time for this expressive dance. And Alana does a great job in combining both those elements. Last pass crucial. The double pike. Wow, great landing. Dramatic finish. Strong start for the Australians.
Very knowledgeable gymnastics crowd in Anaheim. Obviously partisan towards the United States, but they recognize a solid performance by Alana Slater, the longtime coach there, Peggy Liddick.
There's that opening pass, the whip to triple twist. She completes the twist and somehow holds it in bounds. Avoids that 1/10 out of bounds deduction. There will be a deduction for the hop on the landing. And that final pass. Tries to clean up the landing there. Only a tiny movement of the feet. You rarely see that.
Waiting for the score. The veteran Slater of the Australian side. Australians have not been as strong on the floor exercise as they would hope. 9-3-2-5 will help, however, and they'll be in 5th spot after the first rotation. Now we go to the vault, Romania. This is Andreea Muntanu.
The current Romanian national champion, competing Yurchenko double twist, a little bit sloppy in the air, chest down on the landing. A higher start value than we saw the Americans doing. That vault was scored out of a 9.8. But I think there's a little bit of strategy here. The Americans went with the lower start values, but did cleaner vaults. See the knee bend at the end and a little bit of pike in the hips there. There will be deductions.
9-3 for Muntanu. The Romanians have won 5 consecutive World Championships in the women's team event. This is a very young side. Gone are Simona Aminar, Andreea Raducan, the Olympians.
For many of these athletes on this Romanian team, this is their first time competing on podium. Yurchenko double twist, the same vault we just saw Muntanu do.
Monica Rozu, under the guidance of Octavian Belou, longtime Romanian coach, the master of gymnastics in that country.
Quite a bit more power we're seeing in this vault. Big hop on the landing. That is definitely something that they will be working on before the Athens Olympics.
9-3-6-2 for Rozu. We'll return to Anaheim in a moment. Back with a first look at China. Kang Jin on the runway.
Handspring front pike with a half twist. Step out on the landing. Weak start value there. Traditionally, this is not a strong event for China. We're going to have some ground to make up after this event. Beautiful position in the air. Nice pointed toes, legs glued together. Direction problem. Happens with the twist. Dear step over the direction line. There will be a deduction there.
Chinese were 3rd at the Olympics in Sydney. 9-0-8-7 for Kang Jin. They have never won team gold at the World Championships. Next to go is Zhang Nan. Now the Chinese figure to be strong on the uneven bars and the balance beam. Lori, that's where they should make up ground.
Absolutely. In the preliminaries, they scored 1 full point, or almost a full point, higher than the next best team, Romania, on beam. They need to stay on their feet on 3 vaults here and then just really nail bars and beam to pull ahead.
The format of the team final, 3 athletes, all 3 scores count. so you can't afford to make a mistake. Chinese fans know if you do, you put your team right out of contention for the medals.
China's first vault only had a 9.6 start value. They're going to improve on that. Then does the Yurchenko 1.5 that we saw all of our Canadians compete. It's a 9.7 start value. A little under rotation there.
She seems to be happy with the effort.
This vault was very clean in the air. You cannot criticize their form throughout all of their gymnastics, but the power wasn't there. You don't see the big distance and height that we saw from Natasha Schweikart.
9.237, so the Chinese lower scores than the Americans on the vault. Uneven bars now, and this is Chelsea Memel.
We saw the power from them on vault. We see some big release elements from them as well on the bars. Now, China is phenomenal in this event. They are way above everyone else, but the Americans are also very strong, but in a different way. Excellent combination into a double front dismount, and they are hitting their landing.
Wow, do you think the crowd here at the pond in Anaheim is behind the American team? Here's another look at Chelsea Memel.
That was her Hindorf right into a pack salsa down to the low bar. Great combination and phenomenal height in these release moves. There's her stoop through in the L grip position, right into the dismount. She opens up. She knows exactly where the floor is on that blind landing.
Nails it. Think they like this score? 9.637 for the super sub, Chelsea Memel. You know, she was 10th all around at the national championships. Now she's the anchor on this gold medal effort. Tasha Schweikart, the 18-year-old. She delivered, as you said, on the vault.
And the Americans are really depending on Tasha, their most experienced athlete, to put up a big score here as well. Giant full Katya. Take a look at the height she gets on these release moves. There's the Hindorf, sky high, right into her pack salto. She had problem with that connection, the pack salto, in the preliminary. Pretty good there. Every element is directly connected to the neck. A little short on her last handstand. Small deduction, double layout, nails the landing. Big finish.
And a huge response from the crowd. She lives and trains in Las Vegas, Nevada. Tasha Schweikart of the United States.
This is her out bar to Katya. Again, sky high. One of many release moves in this routine. And the dismount, the final touch. Not a movement on the landing.
Well, the Americans got a big score. There's Bella Caroli along with Mary Lou Retton. Remember them in 1984?
It wouldn't be a World Championships without the presence of the great Bella Caroli.
9.6 for Tasha Schweikart. Put that together with Chelsea Memel's 9.675. The Americans are rolling over to the balance beam. And the Romanians, Alexandra Aramia.
And Romania didn't make up any ground on bars, their last event, which is traditionally their weak event. But this is where they can pick it up. Front arrow, but hands to the layout, solid. Switch side. What's most impressive about the Romanians on this event is their confidence. There's not a hesitation or even a single thought before they go into every big skill. One combination after the other. Switch leaf back hands to the layout. Solid. Hours and hours of training to get to this level on beam. back handspring, 2-foot, triple twist. Great job for Romania.
Romanians' highest score on the uneven bars was a 9-1, which leaves them back in third spot. As you say, Lori, trying desperately to make up ground now on the Americans on the trickiest of events, the balance beam. Now they're known for their great work on this.
With fantastic difficulty, there's the front arrow, back handspring layout. With the overhead shot, you can really see how crucial it is to stay square down that 4-inch wide beam.
One fall off this, and your medal hopes are just about over because you have to count it in the 3-up, 3-count format.
And Scott, we're talking about a young, inexperienced team. Many who are competing for the first time on podium. It's tough up there.
9-4-6-2 is something they can count on. Now back to the beam, and the Romanians still. This is one ban.
She is absolutely amazing on this event, but has a lot of risks planned. Take a look at this tumble series here. She missed it in the preliminaries, back handspring, 2-foot layout full, and she's on. Amazing. It takes years for athletes to just learn that on the floor, let alone on the balance beam.
Put this in context, big crowd here at the Arrowhead Pond. She's up on the podium on the beam alone. Everybody is watching this routine.
Front tuck, back pike swing down. A little bit of a misconnection there. Most certainly about staying on this apparatus, but also about hitting those connections. You can stay on and only have a 9.2 start value, and that'll get you nowhere. The Romanians are looking for those 9.9s and 10.0 start values. Clean, precise landing. Just the dismount. 2 back handsprings, double tuck, another great routine for Romania.
Romanians will like that. Octavian Bellew, the coach of the team, refused to concede the gold medal. Romania has won 5 world championships in a row. Very inexperienced team, as you mentioned, Lori. He said, no, we're still in the hunt.
Well, Romania is a nation that knows how to win 5 consecutive world championship titles. You can't argue with that, but this is a young team, and he was quite modest about his expectations for them. He says that he is definitely preparing them for Athens.
Vaughn is already running on to her next event, and she's going with a 9.537 in the bag, so Romania does the job on the balance beam. And after 3, it's the U.S., China, Romania. It remains close. We'll be back in a moment. We're back in Southern California at the Arrowhead Pond for the women's team final at the World Gymnastics Championships. Here is China, their 4th and final event, floor exercise, and Lori, they're not where they want to be.
Scott, the gold medal looks tough for China right now. They were great on bars and beam, but not phenomenal like we saw them in the preliminaries. Add to that Romania hit, and the Americans are doing so well. This is going to be tough, and tough for them to even get a medal here.
Also playing on the minds of the Chinese gymnasts is the fact that they suffered a 2/10 penalty because one of their athletes warmed up on the podium of the vault when she shouldn't have. That means they're further in the hole.
A definite coaching error there, and a sign of their inexperience. Double turn, almost a slight stumble out of that. Had double cat, 1.5. Dance bonus. Dan is probably one of their most well-rounded athletes. He's also one of the most powerful athletes on this Chinese team. Triple twist. A little shy of rotation. Another big dance combination coming here. Double turn, top double, and her hands are down. That is a false shot. Devastating for China. Oh my. You see mistakes in the tumbling. It's very rare that you see it in the dance combination. Big mistake for China.
Now that really opens the door up for Australia. China had an 8.587, an 8.825 on the floor exercise, and Zhang Nan has had a fall.
2.5 front layout, very clean. Little step out on the landing, but here's where the problem was. The tuck double, her feet are way off to the side. She puts her hands down, and that is a 5/10 deduction plus loss of the bonus for that combination.
Remember, the format is 3 up, 3 count, no droppable score, 8.587. It must be kept by the Chinese, and that can put an end to their medal hopes in a hurry. The United States finishes up with Carly Patterson on the floor exercise, trying to win their first ever team gold at the World Championships.
A great event for the Americans to finish on. They are going to have this crowd behind them, pumping them up all the way. First pass, full in, back out, and she doesn't even grab her leg. That's how powerful this athlete is.
Anything but a disastrous fall will win the gold medal for the United States. They're well beyond Romania.
Double Arabian, slight leg separation in the air. Listen to that crowd.
Born in Baton Rouge, now trains just outside Dallas, Texas. Carly Patterson.
Coached by Jenny Marchenko. Fourth and final pass. We'll take a deep breath. She can taste the gold medal here. Double pike, solid. The crowd loves it. That should do it, Scott.
Standing O at the Arrowhead Pond for the Americans.
Finishing up with one of their biggest tumblers. This is the last pass that sealed the deal. Gold medal. First team title for the Americans.
And they did it convincingly. Chelsea Memel was a strength. So was Tasha Schweikert. Carly Patterson delivers the big score on the floor exercise to, as you say, Lori, seal the deal and get by the 5-time champions from Romania. Final results, it's the United States in a walk over Romania. Australia by less than a tenth over China for the bronze.
We have trained so hard. We pulled together as a team. We were in training camp in Canberra for about 5 weeks beforehand. We trained our butts off basically because we wanted to out-train every other country so that we could do our best. And we came out here tonight to enjoy ourselves, have fun, hit our routines, and that's what we did. And we placed third because we didn't make a mistake. And that's what we've been training for. And I just thank all of our coaches in Australia, Peggy Liddick, all the personal coaches. I'd like to thank my personal coaches, Joanne Richard, Nicola Lapton, for pushing us so hard and knowing that this is what it takes to get there, and I thank them so much.
It is a breakthrough story for Australia, but an even better story for the United States. Chelsea Memel, Carly Patterson, Tasha Schweikert, Taryn Humphrey, and Holly Weiss win the first ever gold medal for the Americans at the World Gymnastics Championships in the team event. We'll tell the Canadian men's story when we return to the Arrowhead Pond in just a moment.